Manasseh. You see Joseph right here. We talked a little bit about it. Let's talk about the other part of adoption. We covered some of the introduction, right? But now we're going to cover the one that's more related to you.
Yeah.
Okay? Or to the children of Israel. Right. Or in regards to the children of Israel. All right? Now you notice that according to Columbia University of New York article by Mendelssohn, it says, none of the adoption cases recorded in the historical books of the Old Testament contains such precise Babylonian legal terminology as the case of Ephraim and Manasseh. The phrases solemnly pronounced by Jacob before his death to signify the act of adoption of his grandchildren are almost, read it with me, are almost identical with the Babylonian adoption formulas employed throughout the ancient Near East. I did not know that. When I found out, it explained all kinds of stuff. Let me give you some ideas. Did the children of Israel like Joseph? No, they hated him. They tried to kill him. Okay? So that's pretty dislike. So after Jacob died, didn't the children of Israel thought that Joseph was going to take vengeance against them? So let me ask you a question. What would have kept the descendants of Israel after Jacob and Joseph died? What would have kept them from honoring the request that Jacob gave? The adoption that Jacob did. Did you follow the question?
Nothing would have kept.
What would keep the children of Israel from saying, Ephraim and Manasseh, you're not going to have an inheritance? Yeah, but you see, we never asked that question because we didn't know that the language that Jacob used was,
because it's legal.
It could stand in any court of law in the ancient Near East right here. The language he used was the normal international law of adoption in the ancient world. That means that if they went into the promised land and the children of Israel did not honor the declaration that their father Jacob said, then that means that Ephraim and Manasseh can have a legal case against the brothers. So guess what? If I am a descendant of Israel and I want to return to the land of promise, and I could prove through my DNA and my genealogy that I'm part of the 10 tribes of Israel, that means that I have an inheritance and the government of Israel cannot turn me away based on the legality of the language that Jacob used. If they turn me away, now I have a legal case against them. Because they found the ancient Babylonian Near Eastern law formulas of adoption. So therefore, I could bring the evidence and I could bring the Bible and I said, it's not up to you. I have a case against you because you are closing the doors for my rightful inheritance. And here's the evidence. And here's the evidence. So that means I don't need Judaism to accept me. I don't need the approval of Judaism to tell me that I'm part of the kingdom. Why would you want to be Israel anyway? It's a family in peril. Think about it. You have Jacob. He deceives his brother for the blessing. He goes to Laban's house. He is deceived, given another wife. Therefore, he loses the inheritance of the firstborn blessing. Then he gets married. Oy vey, what a chaos. Then you have, think about it. Why do you think Reuben will sleep with his handmaid, with Jacob's handmaid? Think about it. If Leah knows her husband doesn't love her, he knew it. The Bible is quite clear. She had kids so that she can find his favor.
Right.
So imagine this. Reuben now is the firstborn. This is her opportunity to say, Reuben, man, you're my hope. He doesn't love me, but you're the firstborn. He's got to give you the inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reuben makes a mistake. Big one. I guarantee you, I can't say I guarantee, I will say that the Bible doesn't have a chronology on this, but I will say that maybe Reuben sleeping with his handmaid would have been probably a result from Jacob giving the blessing to Joseph. I can't prove that. But think about it as a family structure. If somebody hurts you that much, that you know that your father doesn't love your mom, And then my rightful inheritance as your firstborn, you take it away from me and give it to that woman's son? He says, I'll show you. What do you love? Oh, you love that handmaid? Let me take care of it for you. Think about it. Then, Simeon and Reuben and Simeon and Levi, what did they do? They killed Shechem, creating a huge problem for Jacob. And what did Judah do? He married the Canaanites, even worse. So who's left? The sons of Bilhah and Silpah. No, let's give it to Rachel. That's the one I love. Why? Because I'm sure Rachel will teach Joseph to respect her father. You see, because love is a reflection of the father. Get it? It's interesting that all the things that happen through the sons of Leah to always undermine their father. It's basically a reflection on the relationship of the father and the mother. I never thought about it until today. Until right now. But then you see the loyalty of Joseph. Who do you think taught him that? His mother Rachel. Because I'm sure she told him the loyalty that Jacob had to her, that he was willing to work all those years and then put up with Laban all those years to earn her. Right? I never thought about it until today. I'm just learning as I'm teaching. Okay? I got to remember what I said because I got to do a conference on marriage in 2 weeks. So I can use that. All right. So now, by the way, do you want to know why the children of Israel, I call the children of Israel, hardly ever in the Bible it says the children of Jacob. Look at the prophets. Why does it say in the children of Israel? It says the house of Jacob, but it never says the house of Jacob. I mean the children of Jacob. Hardly ever. From this moment on, they're always called the children of Israel, right? We're going to find out why. Can you read for me, brother? Can I hire you? Yeah. Right.
Now your 2 sons who were born in the land of Egypt before I came to you into Egypt are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh, even as Reuben and Simeon, will be mine. Your issue, who you become the father of after them, will be yours. They will be called after the name of their brothers in their inheritance.
So I got a question for you. Where in the Bible did you see the names of any of the other sons of Joseph? Nowhere. I'm sure he had more kids. You don't ever know. But it tells you that says, for your issue, who you become the father of after, then will be yours. I already explained to you in the previous teaching why he did that, right? Because Joseph was adopted by Pharaoh. Remember that?
Right.
Legally. So now he's claiming the seed. But you see this area right here are mine. Ephraim, Manasseh, even as Reuben and Simeon will be mine. That lines up perfectly with the ancient Babylonian formula of adoption. Let me show you. In the paragraph 170 of the Hammurabi Code, Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine. Before I do that, stop here. Let me make a comment on Noah. I didn't talk about Noah and the water by trial, remember? Mm-hmm. You want to know why the world was destroyed by water? Because they profaned the name of God and the Lord brought judgment to the people through water.
And they were wrong.
Right? But check this out. I forgot. He mentioned it to me. Okay, I learned from him this today. And so, go ahead.
Well, Noah.
Speak up, brother, so they can hear you.
No, just the part we were talking about?
Yeah. I thought that was really cool because all the elements of what I'm talking about is found in the story of Noah.
Yeah, when Noah was on the ark, he sent out the dove over the waters. Waters is representative many times of nations. And he sent the dove out, and dove is representative of the Spirit hovering over the waters of the nations in the beginning.
Right.
And so the dove goes out and he plucks olive branch, pulls Israel out of the nations.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
And then the raven?
Oh yeah, and the raven, Oreb, he goes out and it never comes back because he stays and eats off the carcasses of the dead.
That is so cool. So you have all the elements of the trial by water. The world transgressed against the Lord and he brought judgment through water. And they were guilty. It says they all drowned. They were guilty.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Spirit of the Lord, right? In the type and shadow of the dove. So now, sealing the whole world, the nations, bring the olive. It's a shadow of Jeremiah 11. The olive tree is Israel.
Isn't there a belief during the rabbinic belief that Doug brought back the olive branch after brought down the olive?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I heard that.
Oh, wow, that's cool. It could have been. Nice. Thank you so much. I learned that today. See? This is how we make each other better.
Amen.
Okay? I got to remember that. All right, here we go. So we have now in the law Hammurabi 170, right? Paragraph 170 says, Ephraim, it doesn't say that, but it says, Ephraim and Manasseh, which is a continuation of this right here. It says, Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine. That expression right here, right? As Reuben and Simeon are parallels to the announcements in paragraph 170 of the Hammurabi Code, which a father legitimates the children born to him by a slave concubine, right? If the father, in his lifetime, states to his sons, whom the slave concubine has born to him, you are my sons, he shall count them with the sons of the first wife. Simeon and Reuben,
Right.
they're the sons of who?
First wife, Leah.
The first wife. So you see here that he says, they are mine, Ephraim and Manasseh, even as Reuben and Simeon will be mine, lines up perfectly with the ancient laws of adoption. So watch this. After the father goes to his fate, or he dies, the sons of the first wife and the sons of the slave shall take proportionate shares in the property of the paternal state, like Jacob. The Babylonian adopted father uses the terms, my sons, and again, as Ephraim and Manasseh are declared to be equals with Reuben and Simeon, the sons of the first wife Leah, so are the adopted children in the Babylonian law counted with the sons of the first wife. So therefore now genealogy is not the issue here. It's all legality of adoption. Did that make sense to you?
But he does actually have to make the statement verbally heard for it to become legally binding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
I've also heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but there is a way that the translation of what he said can have a second meaning, and the second meaning is that Ephraim and Manasseh would take the place of the first two born.
Well, that could be too. But even if that's the case, it's still adopted.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that someone told me this, and I don't know if they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
They said that there's a second translation of it. It can be, if you know
Yeah.
Hebrew, that it meant that Ephraim and Manasseh would take the place of Reuben and Simeon.
Well, they got the double blessing, the firstborn blessing, so yes. He took the double blessing of the inheritance,
So,
which is binding. So that, basically, when you got grafted in,
And also, a lot of people don't know this, at least and I'm almost positive this is true, is that the two handmaidens were sisters, as well as Leah and
Right.
Rachel were sisters.
it could have been two.
And they were also half-sisters to Rachel and Leah.
That I did not know. So, I don't
They
know.
were all four really sisters. This is what,
I've never
what I
known that.
read. Anyway,
Something
this is what I
interesting.
read.
Allow me to continue. So, what we have here, so now, did Ephraim get an inheritance in the Bible? Yes, Ezekiel 48. Right? You see it. I'm not going to read it because you see it right here. And it's interesting that my brother's talking about, as Reuben, by the border of Ephraim, from the east side even to the west side, Reuben, one proportion. They're connected. Okay? The adopter gives a name to the child. Now, this is interesting. You have now, the two sons will be the one of the first wife, remember? But look at the second part. It says, in the paragraph 185 of the Hammurabi Code, deals with the case of the adoption of a freeborn child. The first part of the law reads, if a man has taken a young boy in adoption to be called by his name, the meaning of inamusu here is that the adopter has bestowed his own name upon the adopted son, and that henceforth the latter is to be known as B, son of A. That's why in the Bible there are no last names.
Okay.
Because when you're born, the Father gave you a name and it's from me. So it was a way to show legitimacy of who you belong to. You understand now how Yeshua was adopted by Joseph, and then the Father reclaiming him from that moment on, he's called the Son of the living God, the Son of God, Son of God.
Right.
Now you are now that my father was Victor, I will be Rico ben Victor, the son of Victor, but because now he's no longer alive, so now I become the Son of the living God. Bless you. Only because the Father has claimed me also. You Father? You understand? All right. So now we know why the children of Israel are called the children of Israel. How come they're not called the children of Jacob? Watch this. It says Eastern, Near Eastern adoption language. The same formula is used by Jacob in his declaration. In them, let my name be perpetuated. Genesis 48:16. Can you read that for me? By the way, the fact that it says, in my name, let their name, is a legal formula. Go ahead and read it, brother. Real loud.
The angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads. Let my name be upon them. The name of my fathers Abraham, Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth.
That's why they're called the children of Israel. This people of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so watch. So now, how do we know that this is true? I always wondered, right? The moment that they put Jacob's name in it, then that is Ephraim and Manasseh are from now on to be considered as natural born sons of the grandfather and no longer those of Joseph. That's where you come in. That's where you come in.
Yeah.
Because it says, I'm going to gather people who I will call by my name, right? When he says, I will call by my name, he says, I'm going to adopt them. You see that all through the prophet. You see all through the prophet. So check this out. What is the name of Jacob in the story of the blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh? Let's find out. Go ahead, brother, read from him. Just read the verses where it says Israel.
Israel said to Joseph, I didn't think I would see your face, and behold, Elohim has let me see your seed as well.
So the question is, I thought the name was Jacob. And I always wonder, I'm a Torah teacher, right? And I try to question. Every time I see something, I say, why, when, where, how. Every verse, I look, why, where, when, how. I ask that all the time. I want to know every little detail to that one verse or that chapter. And I always wonder, why does it say Israel? Because he's following the language of the ancient formulas of adoption. Remember the blessing, his name became what?
Israel.
Israel. Who gave that name to him?
The angel.
So therefore the Lord had a covenant with him. So when he will pass his name that the angel gave him by the authority of the Father, that means that now you have the right to the same blessing. Get it? So when we are called, when we are given the rights to be called the sons of God, now whatever Yeshua has, we become co-heirs with him. That's why Paul uses that. So go ahead, brother. 13.
Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right.
You see, so from this moment on, his name is Israel. It's never Jacob. From that moment on, the 10 tribes are called the house of Israel. And then all of Israel, the house of Israel, which is composed of 12 tribes, right? Isaiah 43, I want you to notice the language of adoption all throughout, okay? Go ahead, brother.
But now thus says Yahweh, who created you, Jacob, and he formed you, Israel. Don't be afraid, for I have redeemed you, I have called you by your name, you are mine.
You see? This is Yahweh prophesying about the restoration of 10 tribes. He was the first major prophet. Keep reading, brother.
When you pass through the waters,
What? When you pass through the waters? Keep going.
I will be with you, and through the rivers.
What? When you go through the river? See, how many times have you read that verse and you never know what that meant? It's talking about trial by water. You know, he's telling you, if you go through an accusation of a trial by water, I will be with you because you are mine. You don't need to be fearful. Now you know why I'm telling you, you don't need to be fearful of nobody.
Amen.
Now you understand my premise of from being so confident, not arrogant, but confident in those words. And understanding the legality of the Bible. The moment you understand the legality of the Bible, nothing will move you.
Amen.
And you say he's shown through 5,000 years, 6,000 years, his consistency of his promises. So once I understand the legality of it, say, I ain't going nowhere. I know he has to follow through because he did. Look, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you go through the rivers, they will not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, they will not be burned, and the flame will not scorch you. So what else can he promise us? He's going to give us a land. He's going to give us a promise. He's already promised the inheritance. He sealed you with the Spirit as a guarantee. He gave you Yeshua to guarantee that he paid the payment for eternal life. What else can he do? That you will believe and you don't let anybody tell you that he's not real. Yes, sir.
Well, you had the trial by water with Noah destroying the earth, and then you'll have trial by fire at the end.
You know why? Trial by fire at the end? Yeah, but purification, absolutely. But there's a Hebrew word you need to know. You're going to like this one, my brother. It's called cherem. Cherem. C-H-E-R-E-M. Look it up on the Wikipedia. Okay? Cherem is a very important word. Remember in the story of Jericho? After Jericho, Joshua was told by the Father to go and fight for Ai, the city of Ai. Remember? Huh? C-H-E-R-E-M. Cherem. So, the word cherem in the story of Jericho, after Jericho, when the guy named Achan, he was killed, remember? Because he took the gold and some garments.
Right.
When they destroyed the people from Ai, basically the Lord declared that city as cherem. It means two things. Devoted to God. Okay? You can be separated to the Lord, or you can also be destroyed by the word of the Lord. It's called, in ancient war, it would be called dedication. You can kill the people and keep the livestock, or keep the gold, or keep whatever God says. Don't kill the women, or don't kill. People don't realize that He only told to kill everyone, only the seven kingdoms that were in the land of Canaanite. Everybody else, He says, no, just destroy the people, but just keep the livestock or the gold, that's mine. Bring it to the temple. That's called what? Booty?
Yep.
Can't pronounce that, I gotta be careful I say that.
Yep.
So now what happens is, it's all part of the ancient world. Did you know that you have been separated for the Lord? You've been devoted? He can do, that word can have different meanings. It can be devoted for destruction, or it can be devoted for the Lord. Did you know that we have been devoted for the Lord? So if anybody will come against us, they'll be burned. That was the penalty, burning. That's why the daughters of a priest, if they committed adultery, they were burnt. Because they were separated and devoted for the service of God. Anything other than that, they will be burnt. They were cherem for the Lord.
Fire comes from the mouth of two witnesses.
Exactly. So you see now where you understand what he just said, that the destruction of the earth is going to be through fire. Why? Because the enemy has tried to touch the devoted. Right?
Right.
This is important. I'm going to do a whole teaching on that one, by the way. Here we go. Verse 6. Can you read that for me? Actually, no. Let's move on. Revelation 2:17. Go ahead, brother.
He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. To him who overcomes, I will give of the hidden manna. I will give him a white stone, and on that stone a new name is written, which no one knows but he who receives it.
Isn't that the verse that you quoted me earlier? Revelation 3:12. Go ahead.
He who overcomes, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my Elohim, and he will go out from there no more. I will write on him the name of my Elohim and the name of the city of my Elohim, the New Jerusalem, which comes down from heaven from my Elohim, and my own new name.
Now, this is legal terms. Read it, plug. The first one, 12.
But as many as receive him, to them have been given the right to become Elohim's children, to those who believe in his name.
The right? Isn't that legal? How can you have a right if you haven't gone through the procedure of legality? An illegal alien have no right. Illegal alien, they have no rights whatsoever.
Right.
Shouldn't have, but they do.
They got to go through the process of getting benefits, and I don't get it. Why should we be the only country giving rights to people who are not legal in this country?
Right.
I mean, look, if they work hard, I don't have a problem with them. If let's go through them and say, hey, man, you know, how long you been in this country? 10 years. There's no criminal records right now. Man, you really work hard for us, because I don't know that many people who's willing to go work the fields like this all day long. I admire that.
Right.
I'm standing for 3 or 4 hours, my back is a mess. Imagine those people. My God, they really work hard. And you know what? The economy works because they work hard. And the reality is they're just looking for a better opportunity. I'd rather give them the opportunity to be citizens than all the Muslims they keep bringing up.